Wow. Molweni baphulaphuli emakhaya. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is once again a pleasure to be part of this symposium. So before we commence, I would like to do the first formality. Behind me is a fantastic ensemble. These men and women, these young ladies and gentlemen that you see here, they came for auditions 7 weeks ago. Right, we auditioned them. Well, we're really proud on what they've achieved thus far. So now, they own the bragging rights because what they would do tonight and for the course of this symposium, it's going to be a true testimony that music is the best thing ever that God has created. So they will actually give us, glorious moments in their renditions. I am looking forward to hearing you, ladies and gentlemen, and the entire world is looking so forward in hearing you. So, good luck. Give them a round of applause. Right. Now, as we go along, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to introduce a musician, a brother, a motivational speaker, a young gentleman who hails from Israel. Iskothanes ase Israel. Students kaMadroba. If niyamazi ukuthemba Madroba eIsrael, ubaba onestayela. Michael Dingane uyiqale lento esemncane kakhulu. He started his journey ehoywe ngabantu abakhulu emculweni. Michael Dingane uphuma kwizandla zabantu abachubekileyo like Obaba Madloba, as I said, Obaba Uludumo Magangane, Ofuzi, Vernanel, Bani Ashley Porter. Ndingathetha ngoMichael ndiqhibilizwe lonke. In his early musical time, wahamba wayofunda ePorch ngela xesha yayingekho lula ungena. They molded this young gentleman. Then afterwards, Michael ventured to become a student conductor at the Drakensberg Boys Choir School. He gained an extensive knowledge from and a good mentorship under Ubaba Ubani Ashley Porter. Michael traveled around the world, but his second home is also in Norway, in Oslo. He did lots of masterclasses in Norway and in many other parts of the world. And you cannot actually lock Michael under one genre. He's a man with, like Usis Bongile, he excels in different music genres. Mfaka kumaskandi uzokukhuphela into enzima ongayaziyo. Umfake kwistibili asibonise istibili sigodukile. And you know what? You put him on the classical space, he produces something else. Michael served in many other choral music boards. He was part of the artistic committee for the World Choir Games that were held in Pretoria here in South Africa. Michael Dingaan was also and is still a music director for a board that organized Africa Choral Games. And he's also a board member for Artscape. He's a practitioner, he's a teacher of note. And Michael Dingaan is currently working also at St. Peter. He's got you're going to hear him when he speaks. He starts with a twang. You see now, yeah. So, and Michael is also part of the artistic committee for Usaske. The music that is prescribed, he's also part of it. And also, he does lots of adjudication, both internationally and nationally. He's a person who likes to wear overall. He's a person who likes to go to, dusty places and create magic. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is going to happen now with this young gentleman that I've just introduced? He will be working with 3 conductors. They're going to try lots of things. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know what is in his sleeves. So, uzawusebenza nosis Nomonde Matibela, asebenze nosis Puleng Jackals, asebenze noli Shohonolo Litibili. This guy has a nice twang in his name also. Lihonolo Litibil. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is school. Please take your pen and papers. This is, the information that you're going to get from these 2 giants. You must write it down because it's not going to help you only for competition music. It's going to help you in every space in terms of music making. So it's just an information that is for keeps. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please help me to welcome Umzimela Umngoni Uyeyeye. Round of applause. Thank you.
Greetings one and all, and thank you for the honor and privilege to be part of COMFESA 2023 here in Kimberley. And just as there was a mining of some diamonds in yesteryear, we are busy mining the talent here, making sure that the exploration comes full on. And I want to commend my big sister, Mamgoma, for a wonderful, wonderful session where she really empowered singers. And now we're going to take a direction of conducting, choral conducting, and we've got 3 conductors, and we're not going to kill much time, so be with us, let us make good music. And may I please have Miss Matibela come on stage to conduct the first piece. Thank you. so much. It's wonderful to listen to the sound you make, and I think the choir responds in the manner you invite them. There is something that I picked up. For most of the time, this left hand was sitting here, and sitting here, you were not using the power of this hand. And this hand was showing time pattern, which is good. But I think if you could introduce the left hand a little bit, something might happen. I don't know. Please try. If you like to now engage both hands. The accompanist. So the gesture is invitation first. So acknowledge we are now together, and so that your gesture, your first gesture is not a musical gesture, but a gesture first to create the connection. Something wonderful. Now, can we add one dimension? I'm going to just stand over there a little bit. Do two exercises. So the music is there, it's there, and the music is really there. But are we showing the architecture of the music, of the phrase? Where's the first phrase beginning? Where does it go? Where's the second phrase? Let's try. Please compare. Difference. I'm trying to convey an idea that in your hands you have the ideas of the composer, and the audience has no privilege of those ideas, and the only way they can contact the composer is through your hands. So if you can tell the story of the composer through your hands, and maybe it was not very grand ideas I shared now, but I think try and say something, bring meaning to your sentences. Please try. Yes, it is important. Yes. It does not have to be as explosive as I did, but I wanted to just demonstrate a point. And you can still do that within the confines of being very soft, but the main thing is to say, we're moving, this phrase begins here, it's going there, and from there it goes there, so you show the culmination of the phrase. And I think you achieved great results now. When you did the humming, can you do the second verse? I'm quite interested. Humming, yes. I think you created beautiful moments. Sometimes when we hum with the choir, if you don't breathe, they don't breathe. And you'll realize the first session, Sister Simone was talking about breathing. So if you don't breathe, they don't breathe. And I'll try. Just directly. Makes sense. I think this is the only thing I want to encourage you to breathe with the singers. Because the only petrol they've got is the breath. So if you breathe with them, and there are moments where they breathe to see if we are all breathing. Some of them are breathing, some are not. So let's try this and breathe more.
I think that's really nice to go slow.
No, you don't need to go slow. There we go. Here we went. Watch. So we take too much time. The choir does not know when to come. Breathe. nice, but sometimes it can make singers a little uncertain when to start, now or a little later. So we can be here. Just breathe and start. And even if you forget everything I say, in your mind say, breathe, start. Breathe and start. If this gesture is a preparation, and now. Even if without much preparation, let's go together. Again. Yeah. Now you must breathe. Let's focus on the breath. Let's go together. Now I must help you without my help. Fall guy, when something goes wrong, it's the conductor's fault. And when we win, it's the conductor's good contribution. But I think you did wonderful to just breathe more. And I think when you are in the element, you are able to make so much more music. You have a lot of musicality in you. I noticed when you come on the stage, I didn't want to talk about that. And you know you're my mother, so I have to be nice. I don't want to be in trouble. But I think your stage department is already part of how you walk, even if it's going to be a solemn music. And maybe you don't want a loud sound, so you can even bring it just a small. So how you address yourself on the podium. It's your stage. It's your pulpit for that moment. So bring your message with conviction. Because sometimes if we go like this, the audience is not sure is it going to happen today or is it happening next week. So, but also psychologically, it tells them something. Does my conductor believe in me? Is she in the right mood? Is she in the right space? So always remember, you are sending vibes as you walk on stage. So how you interface with the crowd is so important. But I respect your musicality. And I love the inquiry because you say, but this word means that. So bring meaning to that. And I think you created some lovely moments. Thank you. And next up, from Inurka, but also from the Western Cape, now localized it. Namruti Jackals. Thanks for sharing your gift. The first thing I'll do is remove this. I think you know the song, but also I saw that when you were paging, you use the same hand that you use for beating time, and then you do something there. I want to suggest that because this song begins in 4 equal voices, I would like for you to address yourself to the 4 equal voices, even if the melody is quite prominent, but introduce the 4 equal voices. Yes. Because I'm hearing more of the soprano. Sometimes I hear a bit of alto, occasionally a bit of tenor and bass, but I want to hear the 4-part harmony. Now, this is the position. Let's listen to this sound. I'm going to conduct. Please watch my hand. Hand facing down. Another part. And go. Let's try something else. Not louder. Just because the tuning is also not focused. So sometimes when you must help intonation and you don't have a second rehearsal because it's a real competition, how do you fix it while the song is continuing? You might have to just change the position of your hand. Just a little bit, jack up a little bit, without changing the dynamics. Please, let's try. Now, the sopranos tend to be more prominent. What do you think you must do in order to get a better balance without asking them to sing less? Or you may have to ask them to sing less. But I think you must take advantage of the harmony to really get a better balance. You can use harmony just to get a better balance. So we are focusing on that. And one can tell you are a soprano singer. You keep loving them. Mamruti. Tenors continue to be flat. So how do we fix it? Yes, you must engage. You got to look at them occasionally, but don't look at them with an eye that punishes, because they might get even more tense. So maybe a smile. I don't know.
Oh,
going to be fixed by the conductor. You also need to say, how do I help my conductor? You've got to interrogate yourself. Am I singing in tune? You are not just standing there. You have to take responsibility. So it doesn't just all rest on her. You also have to think, if you paid attention to how Mrs. Smongile was using, at the moment she was using a phone. And the lady was like, this was a mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. How do I look? If my face is hanging and I'm not looking like I'm enjoying what I'm doing, it will not sound like an enjoyment. Of course, the text is saying something else, but you've got to lift the sound a little bit. And perhaps not so operatic bravura type of color. I would call for less forces, less Verdi, more transparent lines, much cleaner. Make it intimate. Think about it. Sylvia, Ntagwetu, Tombesekai. It's very intimate. She might be there, but she might also be here. Supporting. Sometimes you have to remind the singers to support just by putting your hand where the support is. It will activate. So conducting is a very mysterious thing, but it is also a beautiful thing. Challenge, and most of intonation challenges is to be aware. When we oversing, we hear less. Like now, listen to what is happening in the room. This vibration here affects, because it comes back to me. Now I'm not sure if my temperament is correct, but sometimes when I speak softer, I now can gauge how high or how low I need to be. So from city to, listen to, it's not quite centered, very light, city foot, sorry, very light. City foot, just now, basses are wonderful. Sopranos, you are everyone fighting for their space. But if you cooperate more, I love your voice. Just love each other's voice. You will find magic. Enjoy playing with the little flowers. It's not trees. Yes, it's about the storms in the ocean. But for now, because we want to fix intonation, we can't oversing. tenors come to the party much lighter, more focused in tuning. In the rhythm. You don't have to rush further because the music itself is rushing. The small rhythms are showing you movement of the oceans and all these storms. So, show the core of the music. I can do it 1, 2. You lose something. 1. Now you got to listen more. I know it might be a little difficult to listen, but let's cause ourselves to listen. And choir people can sing in a soccer stadium where the acoustics are bad. Let's try. Intonation? I think it's much better. So when we oversing, we don't hear ourselves. Sometimes less is more. Please mark this one. Sometimes less is more. You'll get bigger and better results. And I think doing it in 2 as opposed to small 4. A circle without because sometimes our music becomes something else. Last time. And please, how about a smile? Yes, I know the text doesn't call for that. And the words relate. Someone was talking earlier this morning that there is a sail here, there is wind. There is in the music. Good luck. Messages. It's always tempting to hear the soprano, but if you listen to the alto and tenors, you'll find mysteries. But what makes it tired? I'll try. There was a please stand aside. I show. So we are not going anywhere. Let's try and go. Without all this volume though, but with movement. The phrase is like a wave in the ocean. Let's go together. Let's go together. Sing us. 1 with your hands. 1 and 2. your music must not be metric like this. It must not be a pile of squares. The music must be winds of joy, winds of pleasure. And when you run out of breath, don't change the tempo. And it goes back to that, what was said earlier. This, when you breathe, when you choke like that, you will run out of breath. That idea which was said to a few soloists applies to the choir too. Breathe before time and take a much longer breath. Let's go. Thank you. Now you've taken the breath, but don't sing, but hear your intonation without the piano. Don't sing it and see if it will sound right in your head. Have you got it? Now let's see. Back. Sometimes you hold a note that long to fix a chord. Don't go to the next phrase, they know it, but if you've got a crisis on that chord, hold it long and they will suddenly be more attentive. Yeah. So let's try this end. But does it make sense? So breathe with the singers. Luckily, lovely, so you are a singer. All the petrol you've needed when a conductor is standing in front of you. Breathe with your singers. So. And sometimes the breath is. If you forget everything I say, remember that moment when she had that phone? Ladies, you love outings. Yes. Lift your cheekbones a little bit, because when you lift this, it also lifts something in the center of intonation. And the problem sometimes with our intonation is that it becomes an approximate tuning, not an exact tuning. So we have to cause ourselves to think harder and harder about it, especially Tina Remnyama. That's one area we really need to go back to. Abanye abantu abafunda sikhulume nge-intonation bayacasuka babona ukuthi into ezidala. Nalelo mculo is based on intonation. Asinakuyibalekela lena, you must work on tuning. The center of music is melody and harmony is based on the idea of tuning. So just finishing off, let's strive for a better intonation. The adjudicators are waiting with big marks there. Thank you. And I think we have the next conductor. But I think we have an opportunity to say the kind of music we sing is a very high science. It's not just entertainment. So there is a lot of thinking that's involved in terms of tuning, and we hope that we will keep on working as conductors at home, as singers at home. We must be concerned with intonation. Intonation, intonation, intonation. Thank you. And I love the word into the nation. The nation is called the note. Amen. Our third and final conductor. Yes, sir. Yeah. We will not necessarily do the whole piece, but I think romantic music gets bolder. Think classical period, much cleaner, more precise. Try from the beginning, but with less bravura and more clarity, just focusing on small detail. And then the three angels, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, become the trio in all the lands. Resounds the word. But right now, it is the heavens that are telling the glory of God. It is not every place that is doing that. Performance. I don't think it's too loud. Because remember, when we sing, we also want to invite the listener. The listener can take Sunday Times and read while you are singing and really lose you. So you have to think, am I making music to the audience? You got nice dynamic. Now don't lose this briskness. Yeah. So don't just say, but how can I use what he's got to aid what I've got? One more time. Otherwise it's going to go. It sounds like they're all coming at the same time. Can you do the interlude? I must hear that they are not all moving at the same time. Right? Try. There's nothing there. In all the land, in all the land, in all. Show us all these lands that the Lord himself has created as one land. But we see them in diversity, yet the Lord our God is one. Gesture. Try it. Change. Let's try. I'm not going to say anything. Let's go together. So, if I try again. It's in your gesture. If you go, that guy, this guy is always ready to fight. But he's also willing to sing. unsure, they were also unsure. Now, this is where, when you read the score, in your mind, bass, 10, alto, and how you address it. If you change that gesture, they will know when to come in because they are always fighting for when to come in. Sometimes sopranos arrive before time. So try and be sure. Articulation going. Listen to what I'm hearing. It's the principle of fugue. If you're going to use this shortened approach, then it must be the same for all voices. Otherwise, it's like it's a democracy. You know what happens in something that's in the sound. Please watch my hands and listen. That's not just talk feeling. But if you keep it small, because you will get a more clear line. So don't, I think, yeah. The wonder of his work, I'm sure God was not busy saying, Siaka manje, Siaka. When they were unsure, what was your reaction? You gave them a look that was proper. That look said, I don't accept this. And it works, but it stopped them from singing. So they thought, okay, we're messing up this guy. What shall we do? Let's keep quiet. Sometimes a mistake happens in a performance. You respond with a smile. They know they made a mistake. They will save you now. It's the psychology of conducting. If you're going to find all the faults, you'll find 1,000 if you want. But if you hear a small mistake and smile at it, they're like, okay, it's not so mad. And immediately, it does not mean you tolerate mediocrity, but you're saying to them, it's only a tiny mistake, forgive yourselves, but now be on the go. The wonder of his work displays the firmament And if you go and translate it, you'll go super crazy thinking about what is this firmament? And you can talk of it physically, that the one of his work shows the firmament, but it also shows the resoluteness of our God. When he makes something, nothing can interfere with it. The wonder of his works displays, to show off. It shows really that this hand, whatever this hand touches, is magic. So now put it in your hands. There's a reprise of the main statement. The song begins to say the heavens are telling. He's saying it again. Wow. But he's probably saying it for the last time in the song. Look what. What you need to do is refine your ideas even more. But I have no doubt that there's lots of amazing music in you. So when the theme that is given by the composer comes back, the audience may have forgotten. Some of them don't even know the song. You have an opportunity to say, what I said in the beginning is being said again. But then there are new ideas that you've never heard, and you can feel the climax of this piece. So you must show them. The mistake that I think happened is that while we demanded more, the choir began to oversing, and this oversinging began to make the music a little cheap. I don't mean it in a bad way, but our music must remain expensive and expressive. Expensive and expressive. I'm going to say this again. Our music must remain expensive and expressive. Because you are not just going to pull a guy there and say, sing this song. I see music where there's a lot of education. Do the end and then we can move to the next one. Choir. A little something. When you sing, you must animate again. You must perform. When you stand like this, it looks quite disciplined, but I think you can show that I actually love being on stage. It's wonderful to perform for you. Thank you for coming to watch me. Now there you are. Are you not thinking about going home? Right there you lose audience.